Hey Algebra 1, today we're going to do graphing ax squared plus bx plus c. But what's funny is that we're not going to do graphing today. We'll do graphing on day 2. Today, I want to focus on finding 4 aspects of the graph, okay? We're going to find 4 things about the graph. We're going to find the vertex. We're going to find the axis of symmetry. And you don't know what that is yet, so don't worry if that doesn't sound familiar. You're going to find, so that's the vertex, the axis of symmetry. You're going to find the min slash max value. We kind of talked about it, so I hope you remembered it a little bit. And, and I do have to apologize. I forgot to upload the video with the assignment. If you ever see an assignment that I posted and I don't say in the post there's no video, and I forgot to put a video there, just do a class comment because it didn't occur to me until the Zoom yesterday. So I have to apologize for that. So we have the vertex, the axis of symmetry, the min-max value, and the last thing is the y-intercept. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, and 4 things we're going to look for. So first, let's just talk about what all those things are. Some of them are familiar, some of them are new. So this right here is your parabola. And I'm just also going to draw a upside down parabola. Okay? At the bottom, or in this case, the top of each parabola is the vertex. So right here is the vertex. I made this arrow too long. Is a vertex. So the vertex is the tip of the parabola. Either the top of the top or the bottom. It is always the tip of the parabola. Now, in the vertex, there's a couple of things happening. First off, we mentioned this a lot in the table, but your table is symmetrical. The parabola is symmetrical. So we have this kind of like axis that is symmetrical over. We would call this the axis of symmetry. So this dotted line right here is the axis of symmetry. Okay, so that's the axis of symmetry. This dotted line right here, Then there's a value that is as low as it goes or as high as it goes. So this horizontal line right here is the minimum value because this is the lowest it goes. It goes up to infinity, so there's no maximum on this situation. And over here, this is as high as it goes, so that would be the max. The maximum, okay? So this would be the minimum, and this would be the maximum. All right, and then the y-intercept. So the y-intercept, just like the line, is where it hits the y-axis. I'm not going to draw that here because it wouldn't really make sense in this picture. I didn't put an axis, so. But y-intercept is really easy to find, don't trust me, okay? So we got what our terms look like. I guess the more important part is how do we actually find it? So how do we gonna actually find this thing? So first, let's just put an equation down. Ta-da! The equation is down. So y equals negative 2x squared plus 12x minus 7. Again, we're looking for 4 things. The vertex, the axis of symmetry, the max or min, and the y-intercept. Okay? So let's see. For the first thing, we're going to find the vertex. And you're going to see why we find the vertex first. To find the vertex, when we have a value here, when we have a b value, is we're going to use a new equation, which is negative b over 2a. So negative b over 2a, you could box that in. That's a very important equation. So again, I'll type the steps into the post. Step 1, let's identify our a, b, c. Now this should feel familiar from last chapter. This is the same type of equation from last chapter. Now we're dealing with graphing it, but this is a quadratic equation where you could have done the factoring for it. But like the slide and divide rule. But we're not doing that because that's not what we're looking for. So let's just solve this out. So a in this case is -2. A is always the number in front of x squared. B is the positive 12, is always the number in front of x. And C is the number by itself. So that's C over here, -7. So we have our A, we have our B, we have a C. Now we're going to plug in the equation. So -b. So -b, step 2 is to plug it into -b over 2a. So -12 over 2 times -2. Well, -12 on top divided by -4 on bottom, that reduces to double negative cancel out, so don't forget that, a +3. Now this +3 is the x value of my vertex. So this equation over here finds the x of the vertex. Okay, now I just found an x. So think about it. This is an equation. So what can I do with this x to find the y? 3 seconds. What can I do with the x to find the y? Well, if you said plug it in, you are correct. So let's plug it in to this equation. So step, I believe it would be 3 in this case, is to plug in x into our equation to find the y of the vertex. So that is -2, 3 squared, plus 12 times 3 minus 7. Minus 7 like that. Equals y. Okay? So 3 squared happens first. That's 9. And then 9 times 2, -2, is -18. So -18 plus 3 times 12 is 36 minus 7 equals y. -18 plus 36 is 18 minus 7. That is going to be 11 equals y. So that's my y value. Your vertex is a point. So the first thing we just found is our vertex, which is 3, 11. Now you're thinking, Mr. Tobel, we just did 4 steps to find the vertex. It feels like it's going to be a lot to find the other things. Well, lucky for you, it's not that hard. Now, let's go back to the picture from before. Notice where the axis of symmetry is. The axis of symmetry is at the vertex. Look at the axis of symmetry. It's at the vertex. So because it's at the vertex, what can we guess where the axis of symmetry is going to equal? Well, the axis of symmetry is a vertical line. And because it's a vertical line, that means it's going to be x equals something. You remember, x equals something causes a vertical line. So that is going to be x equals the x of the vertex. What's the x of the vertex? 3. Hey, we just found the axis of symmetry. Now let's find the max and min value. Flip back over. Wait a second. The min or max value is the y, is how high up or down the parabola is in the vertex. So it's the y of the vertex. So the min or max value is 11. And that's the y of the vertex. So the axis of symmetry is always the x of the vertex. The min and max value is the y of the vertex. Now the y-intercept. You're like, oh no, now the y-intercept. Remember, just like we did in the graphing straight lines a long time ago, the y-intercept is when x equals 0. So what happens when I plug in 0 into this equation? -2, 0 times 0, plus 12 times 0, minus 7. Well, -2 times 0 squared is still 0. And then 12 times 0 is 0, 0. And this is minus 7. So 0 plus 0 plus minus 7, that equals -7. So your y-intercept is -7. What does that mean? Well, that means your c value will always, always, always be your y-intercept. So your z value is your y-intercept. So I'm going to flip back over here and give a little shorthand of the rules. And maybe I'll just post these rules anyway on the Google Classroom. But you have your vertex, right? Which is some x comma some y. Your axis of symmetry is the x of the vertex. Your min-max value is the y of the vertex. So it's like a 3-for-1. Is you get the vertex, you get the other two for free. And the y-intercept, well, that's even easier. It's literally just your c value. It's just your c value. So over here, your y-intercept was -7, c was -7. So this is really simple. The only tough part is finding the vertex. And finding the vertex is what I need you to do. So I'm going to pause and do a whole fresh example, one more example of this stuff. And we'll do it quickly and what I expect to see in your homework. All right, here's my example. This is how I would expect your homework to look like. X squared minus 2x minus 3. Keep this in mind in this equation. We're going to be using it for the whole thing. So first I'm going to find my vertex. So to find my vertex, I should start identifying what A, B, C is. My A is 1. I don't see a number there, so it's 1. My B is -2, so my B is the X in front of it. And my C is -3, so the C is right there. Okay, the 1 by itself. All right, let's plug it into the equation. -2 over 2 times 1. One double negative becomes a positive, so it's 2 over 2. And 2 divided by 2 is simply 1. So 1 is the x of your vertex. Okay, what am I going to do to the x of vertex to find my y? Well, I'm going to take that x and plug it into the original equation. So we got 1 squared minus 2 times 1 minus 3. So 1 squared is 1. -2 times 1 is still -2. Minus 3. 1 minus 2 is -1. -1 minus 3 is -4. So your y is -4. So, what is my vertex? 1, comma, -4. What is my axis of symmetry? Well, it's the x value of the vertex, so that's just 1. What is my min-max value? Well, my min-max value is the y of the vertex, so that's -4. And what is my y-intercept? Well, my y-intercept is my c value here, the c, letter C value. So it's just -3. So it turns out this question is a lot easier. You're finding 4 answers, but you're literally only doing work for 1 of them. Okay? So I hope this video is helpful. Again, if I ever never post a video and I don't say particularly there's no video attached to this, message me as fast as you can so I can post it. All right? Have a wonderful day, guys.